Welcome back, everybody. So, today you might be asking, Jax, what does the title of this video mean? A storm is coming? So, we have had some weather recently, and you might think, oh my gosh, what? It's a beautiful cloudy, just, a few clouds in the sky, but it's still a beautiful day. You're right, it is still a beautiful day. However, I don't know if this is going to show very well on camera, but there is a giant black cloud coming. And it's supposed to be a massive thunderstorm. We get them all the time in August. It's almost every single evening that we get a giant thunderstorm. So, this video is all about what to do when a storm is coming, both literally and metaphorically. So I'm just going to sit you down here on the counter or on the sofa. Let's see here. So, a storm is coming. What do? Thankfully, there's no tornado warning. We often do get tornado warnings, but there isn't one today. That could change. Sometimes our phone just beeps and it's like, oh yeah, tornado warning, here we go. So, what we do here in Alberta is we clean up the yard, we try and do our yard work, we prepare, make sure the vehicles are out of cover because we get hail sometimes. Make sure the windows are all sealed. They're not sealed yet, but we will seal them. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of things that we do in order to prepare for a storm. That's what we do physically. Mentally, in all honesty, we download movies, we get ready for power outage because sometimes the power goes out for, a day or two or even just a few hours. So that kind of sucks sometimes. Just depends really. So that's not really mentally, that's still physically stuff we're preparing for. But basically, when we know a storm is coming, we make preparations, right? So it makes sense that in your life, there are going to be metaphorical storms, or there are going to be situations in your life that are difficult, that are coming, that are going to be hard. Maybe it's your grandparents are getting older. Maybe you're about to head off to school. Maybe, a relationship is going to be coming to its end. But humans can tend to see these things coming. Sometimes you are blindsided, but I think in life, you're very rarely totally blindsided. Where is this coming from? What's going on? That's very rare. Most of the time, you have an idea and you're kind of like, well, I could see this happening, or, it's inevitable. I mean, people get old, people die. It's a fact of life, unfortunately. So how do we prepare ourselves for the coming storm? When somebody says, oh, a storm's coming, how do we protect ourselves, insulate ourselves, ready ourselves, sharpen the swords, or, whatever you're doing, get the shield up, draw the drawbridge. There's lots of stuff in our lives that we can do that prevent the storm from taking your house away, from destroying your whole being. And I think that's important. I don't think it's talked about enough, so that's why I thought, let's do a YouTube video on preparing for the difficult things in our life. And I think it's a pertinent subject because no matter what your life is, no matter how old you are, no matter what your situation is, no matter who your friends and family are, there are going to be struggles in your life that you're going to see coming. And it really pays and it really helps to, have thought about these things. I have a somewhat close friend who he just got out of this relationship. And I said oh, did you have any idea that this relationship was going to end? And he's like, yeah, me and my girlfriend always knew that it wasn't going to last. I was like, oh, so you guys had lots of time. He's like, well, not really. It still took me by surprise. It still shocked me. And I was like, oh, and you didn't think about it in the moment of the relationship? This is, a beautiful temporary thing. And he's like, no, it was more just we kept putting it off and we didn't want to have that conversation. And we knew that if one of us ever brought up the conversation, that would be it. That would be the end of the relationship. And so I don't know, I was kind of a bit surprised by him because he's usually very like forward planning and thinking things through. And he knew this relationship wasn't going to last, but he just didn't want to have those conversations, and he didn't want to think about it or prepare for it or, anything like that. And sometimes there is something to be said for just allowing things to happen. We don't have control over our situations. So the idea that, oh, I have to plan and I have to get ready. Well, yes and no. There is a place for that, but at the end of the day, we don't have control. So you just got to relinquish control. That being said, I'm not just going to relinquish control of my house and let a storm come and break all the windows and smash the doors and, let all the rain in and let the basement flood. Like, I'm not going to let that happen because I know it's coming. I can see it clearly. The weather report says it's going to rain. It's going to be a big thunderstorm. So we unplug our devices and we it's just common sense. If you know something's coming, you can prepare for it, and then you're in a way better situation than if you were. Because when you're too late for something, you are too late for something. And a minute too late is worse than 10 years too early. And, you can... I made a YouTube video or a TikTok recently about how my dad is a scuba diver. And a lot of scuba divers have this saying that goes... I'm just going to make sure I remember it and then I don't butcher it. The saying in scuba diving goes, plan your dive, dive your plan. And basically it's, planning out whatever action you're going to do, and then you execute it. You do it because that's the most efficient way. And in a profession and a sport and a career like scuba diving, you got to know what you're doing or you're going to die. So, we really like that saying. It's a big one in our family, and it has a lot of meaning to me, obviously, because my parents met scuba diving and through scuba diving endeavors. So yeah, I think preparing for the storm and to know that a storm is coming is a really good skill, and it's a really good talent. And being able to prepare effectively and use your time wisely in situations that you need to can make life just so much easier. If you know that a situation is coming up, like a birthday or a certain situation that you're just like, oh boy, this is going to be interesting, lots of people are gathering, or, it doesn't matter what the situation is, but if you know a situation is happening and you can plan and prepare for it so that you're not, so you don't get cornered by that annoying uncle, or you don't have to deal with that one friend of a friend who's just a little bit over the top. If you're able to plan to avoid those situations, life is just so much more easy. It's so much more enjoyable. Life is always going to be difficult, but a little bit of forethought goes a long, long way. So yeah, that's my thoughts on what to do when a storm is coming. And there are physical things, there are mental things, there are emotional things that you can do when the storm is brewing, when it's coming towards you. So yeah, I don't know. I don't have much more to say on this. It was just sort of a topic that I thought of when I was getting ready for the storm, and the sun starts getting blotted out and it's darker, and I was just like, this would be kind of a neat topic. And so I want to hear from you guys. What are things you do in order to prepare for the storm in your life? And what do you do to get ready and prepare and brace yourself and that kind of stuff? And what things do you do? What kind of storms or situations in your life that come up that you just allow to hit you? You're just like, you know what? There is really no preparing for this. I just got to deal with it, and we're going to see how it goes. Let me know what kind of situations those are, because I have a few like that where I'm just like, there is no avoiding this storm. There is no dodging it. I just got to suck it up and brace it. It's not going to be a fun time, but we're just going to have to do it. So yeah, storm's coming. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. I hope you're having a beautiful day. And like always, I will talk to you guys tomorrow.